The UDU, Upland Development United, installed their neighborhood nodes throughout the entirety of Upland. Their reach was unmatched.
Okay, thank you everybody for coming along. This is what we've decided to do as an AMA. This will cover the UDU, UP2.LAND and UPX.WORLD. Any questions you may have. This meeting is being recorded and may be uploaded to our YouTube channel. The reason this AMA meeting came about is for a lot of the misinformation that's been spread around in the community. As a group, we've tried to be as open and transparent as we possibly could, and to be honest, it's backfired on us quite substantially. As I've mentioned countless times, we are not the first big co-op in the game. There are many other co-ops in the game that are just, quietly doing their own thing. And, we took a chance on going out there and seeing how it went. And we're in the process of reevaluating all of that at present. One thing to make clear from the get-go is that we are not Upland. We're not here to answer any questions related directly to Upland stuff. If you have any sort of questions like that, you'll just be asked to send those to support, unless they're of a generalized nature. We have experienced players here, but any sort of admin or anything like that, that's to do with Upland. For the general way that this will unfold, if you have a question, yeah, feel free to shoot it out. We don't want to get in a position where we're talking over the top of each other. It's only a small group, so I'm not imagining that that's going to happen. And yeah, we're pretty much, that's it. That's as far as the script goes. And from here on out, we'll just play it by ear. We've got NVEN0M on board today. He is co-founder of UDU. He is the owner of UPX.WORLD and the owner and the maestro for UP2.LAND. We have DJSHORTS on. He was instrumental in getting the UDU set up, and he's also a co-founder. So between the three of us, yeah, there's pretty much no question that we shouldn't be able to answer that's related to what we've got going on. So other than that, NVEN0M and DJ, unless you had something to say, we'll just open it up.
Yeah, I'll just real quick, guys, wanted to put this out there. When I started playing Upland, I started probably similar time as some of the guys that I see here in the chat. I mean, I'm not that much of a veteran player. I've been here for a short time, even though I've done a lot in a short time. I've been here for a short time, and the UDU as a whole started as it was basically Ben and DJ and a few others in Midtown Terrace, and just things started happening. One thing after another, to where the group grew faster than we ever had expected. Because when we were doing it, we was like, well, let's just start this group. It'll be cool because we could help each other. And then next thing you know, we have 60 members, then 100 members. So part of that, though, I think would speak to the fact that we're trying to take on as many people as we can. We're trying to accommodate as many people as we can and help with whatever we can. There's been several instances where the UDU has helped. I'm personally involved in charity for St. Jude with Stirs Merlin that we're going to be pushing pretty soon. So a lot of our stuff, I know it might seem like we're out here, this big looming force, but really my mind is more towards making the game and the community better. And that's kind of what we're doing with trying to do with UP2.LAND and UPX.WORLD, and making that stuff free and fast for everybody. And so yeah, all that being said, I'll open it up to DJ if you have anything to say, and maybe let these guys ask some questions, get this thing started.
I just want to thank everyone for being here today. And yeah, we're transparent. So anybody wants to ask us anything, please, now's the time.
Let's start.
And yeah, with that, oh, go ahead.
You want to just start? I mean, like I can see the list of people. The first first guy that's got his video on, Isamo. Talk to me, brother. What we got going on?
Yeah, thanks for the shout out. You know, I've probably been one of the most vocal critics of UDU, and I'm not ashamed of that. You know, that's I think possibly part of the reason why we're even having this meeting. So I just wanted to put it out there is, you know, when we talk about crypto in general, one of the things that a lot of us look to is that very decentralized aspect of crypto. And so when we look to the UDU or similar groups, it seems like we're going in direct conflict with this decentralized nature. We're going back to centralizing, creating organization, and then creating force behind that organization. Why create something like UDU if what we're all after is that decentralized lack of control, right?
I think I've got an answer for you. And so am I saying that right? Is it Faisimo?
Feísimo. It means the ugliest in Spanish.
It does
like
mean
super
the ugliest
ugly.
in Spanish. Feísimo. Did I say it right?
Good
Feísimo.
enough. Good enough.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for being here today. And you know what? Thank you for calling us out on it, because if it wasn't you, it'd be somebody else. So I'd rather clear it up and see what everybody thinks about it. You know, this is all new for us too. So maybe we're wrong, but I don't think so. I think we're right. And here's my answer for you. Even at the beginning with Satoshi, it was very centralized. Bitcoin was a very centralized idea. It started with him and a small group, right? Whether you believe it was a single person or not, either way, you would have to agree logically that it comes down to an original idea that was very centralized. And then once the idea was ready, it was released and it became decentralized. But you can't just release it before it's ready. It has to be ready before it's able to be released. And I think that's what we're working on here, the beginning of the new Bitcoin, whatever you want to call it, however you want to rationalize that in your mind. I think we're at the beginning of something new. And that's my answer, and I'm sticking with it until I see a good reason to not believe it.
I can follow up on that too. It's important to know that this is, like, I come from a crypto background as well. This is not crypto. This is a community-based game at its core. And yes, you can do well in this game as a lone wolf. I have for more than a year before I started all this stuff. But community-based partnerships is the natural progression of the beast, pretty much. It's just what it is. We've seen communities formed from the very start of this game. Like, there were co-ops more than a year ago. It's just the nature of the beast. Venom, you want to speak to that as well?
Yeah. So I think the best answer I can give on that is we saw it, right, with the Spark beta. So Spark, if you try and, I don't care how much Spark you have, if you have 2, 3, 4 Spark, whatever they are, and you try and build your building, right, you're going to take, what is it, 96 years or something like that, some 593 days, right? So in a group, like for a guy like me, I have 4,000 and something, 4,700 properties in the game, right? And 2 landmarks, big ones. And so those ones are going to take a long time. And for me to think that I have 4,000 properties that I'm going to be able to develop on my own is impossible. It's not going to happen. I have to create partnerships with people in order to make this happen. So that was the original, like I was going to come into the game and I was going to spend money. I believe in the game. I wanted to spend time. I wanted to spend effort. I wanted to invest. So if I did it by myself, I would be shooting myself in the foot for making that big investment, right? And I wanted to create something to where we could all work together. I mean, part of what UDU does, like, it's a cool, really cool skill sharing operation. Like, I can ask Ben, who's very, very good at project management, to work with me on another project that has nothing to do with UDU, which is my Green Rabbit stuff. And I'm not good at organization. I'm not good at property management. I'm not good at project management. So Ben can do those for me on a whole nother level. And one of the common misconceptions that comes out about the UDU is like, oh, well, if you're part of the UDU, you can't do anything else. You can't be a part of any other group. You can't be, and I'm living proof of that. You can. I have Green Rabbit, which is completely separate from UDU. We have our own servers. We have our own projects. We have our own deal. I actually had to kind of step back a little bit from the UDU and create the Green Rabbit United, which is basically me, because I have enough property in the game to be my own kind of node or whatever. But it allows me to do that. And Ben or DJ or none of the UDU members have any problem with that. They actually capitalize on it. They say, okay, well, great. If you're going to do that, can we help you in any way? Is there something that we can do for you? Is there some kind of art that we can do, or, you know, for the NFTs, you know? So that's kind of the idea behind it, is more or less like, you know, we, there's a lot of stuff in Upland that we're going to need people to help us do. And I would rather do it with my team than just, you know, some random guy from chat that we don't know very well. Like, it's more or less like most of us, I think all of us in the UDU have become friends. It's an instant, like I have instant buddies. I know, like Crypto Jedi. I had no idea who he was. As soon as I started talking to him, he's my friend. Boom. I mean, him and I are working. He told me about helium. I was like, oh, this is cool. You know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the explanation is, I think, a little bit less ominous than most people might think or suggest, because it's not that, you know. I mean, there are members of the UDU that got removed from the UDU. Yes. Why? Because they were doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing. And we didn't want to have those kind of problems with the UDU. Were they upset about it? I'm pretty sure that they were upset about it. Did they continue to talk about it in general? I'm 100% sure they continue to talk about it in general. But you got to think about the nature of that beast. You know, it's somebody who's mad because they did something wrong, and then they're going to, you know, start talking about us in a negative fashion. Yeah.
Can I just cut in there? Yeah, they did something wrong in terms of Upland, not in terms of UDU.
Yeah, not in terms of UDU, but they did. So we don't want to have that kind of stuff. Like, part of my deal, like for me personally, and I know I've seen a bunch of names here who I speak to regularly, right? I don't want to have anything associated with my name. I'm putting it public so everybody knows that's shady in any way, in any kind of wrong dealings, any kind of at all. Like, I don't have the time, the effort, or the reputation to want to have to even deal with that. So anybody can ask me. I've been open with almost every single one of you I've talked to at some point in time on DMs, right? I don't want to have my name associated with that. And I've made it clear to everybody in the UDU that that's not what I'm about, and that's not what the UDU should be about. And I can stand before you today and tell you that the founders all agree with me, and everybody that's in the UDU, I think, agrees with me. If they don't, then, you know, we don't want them to be a part of the UDU. That's the bottom line. You should want to be doing everything, you know, with honor, play the game with respect, treating others with respect. That's just the way it works, you know. So
the TLDR answer is that it's not decentralized. It is centralized. So, I mean, that's pretty much the.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to go all this.
No, that's great. I have a follow-up question here for NVEN0M. You know, you purchased the UPX.WORLD. One of the concerns is that as a business owner, now having purchased UPX.WORLD, we have created an environment where UPX.WORLD is absolutely critical to being able to play the game. You know, there's a fear out there that you will turn that into a monetized asset that you'd be able to get in to use the things that are the basic tools. The basic information will require a pay for access. Is that your intent with UPX.WORLD, or turning it to UP2.LAND.com? Well, what can we really expect from you and UP2.LAND.com coming into the near future, and maybe long-term future for the game?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. So one thing I want you guys to think about, you know, like everybody knows that I got UPX.WORLD. They know that I bought it, right? But I think they forget the word bought. I paid for it, right? I paid for it, cash money, like, you know. And so I'm providing that service for free to you guys, right? And for as long as UPX.WORLD exists, it will be a free service. The first thing I did, guys, and everybody can vouch for this, is I went in and I removed all of the ads, because before, I don't know if anybody was here when it had ads, it was ugly. It looked gross. It was just like these weird ads that it had nothing to do with Upland, and they were in the middle of the screen. It just bothered me. So Ben came to me and said, hey, after everybody said, can you remove those ads like right away? That was like the first order of business, and we did. Then I went out and purchased a very expensive server and got a brand new T1 line put in here, dedicated, and plugged it in, and we did the work to get that up and running. So that about 5 to 10 times the speed of UPX.WORLD before to what it is now. But as long as UPX.WORLD is up, that's not going to be billable. With Up2.LAND now, Up2.LAND is going to be a property management tool. There's going to be data analytics. So eventually UPX.WORLD and Up2.LAND will do one of these. We might keep UPX.WORLD around for data stuff. And anything that like for data wise that UPX.WORLD offered will always be free, but there may be a situation where there's maybe like a premium property management tools in the future that are premium, that are, you know, that are available thing, but it's not going to be something that is going to hamper your way to play the game. I would like everybody to at least understand that I have to, if I'm going to make an investment in something like that to keep it alive, which the fact of the matter is that's what I was doing is keeping UPX.WORLD alive, right? Eventually, maybe not right away, but eventually I'd like the community to support me in trying to make a return on my investment, right? Because like, hey, I spent the money, it wasn't cheap, you know. I'm not going to say exact numbers, but you guys know how important it is, and so did the guy who made it, right?
No, I cut in there, Venom, sorry.
Yeah.
It's important to know too that tools like that, they're not a right. They, you know, it's a privilege. I played this game for well over a year with no tools. There was no such thing. That is something that was created by one player. There are several players in the game who have created pretty much the exact same tools and even more powerful tools that they don't share with anybody. On occasions, I would reach out to those players and ask them to check what was the lowest property available to buy and all that sort of thing. This has been ongoing for a very long time, but I just want to reiterate, this is, yeah, it's a privilege. It's not a right for you to be able to use these tools. These are community created tools. People saying that it's impossible to play the game without them, contact Upland, because, you know, that's not on us.
Well, let me take you a step further from there too, because that's what I did, right? I contacted Upland. I said, hey guys, this has got to change. We got to make something happen because, you know, this is the only tool that's out there and there's no property management for this game whatsoever. I think everybody can agree. Anybody who's ever put an offer on a property and scrolled through however many properties you have to try to get to that one to offer, you know what I mean? And who knows, it's a mess. And Upland, thank God, agreed with me, and they said, okay, let's do something to where we create a third-party developer beta program where third-party community developers that are whitelisted can come to us and get direct access to the API and the Upland database to create their own apps and tools. But that doesn't exist yet. So will you guys, because you're already whitelisted, we got whitelisted, we went through the whole process, will you guys help us build that beta program? And then when we do that, we'll allow the other third-party developers who are whitelisted to develop using the tools that we create, right?
And just to clarify, you're talking about we as in your group, you're not talking about the UDU.
Yes, I'm talking about when I'm sorry, yeah, just to clarify, if I say we, unless I'm specifically saying UDU, I'm talking about Green Rabbit, so I apologize, guys, just want to make sure that that's clear. But another thing is that's going to open up a huge opportunity for everybody that's a developer. I get questions every day from people saying, hey, I want to do this app, or I want to do this, you know, tool, or I want to do this. Can I have access to the UPX.WORLD data API? And can I, you know, and the fact of the matter is that's all going away. That's all irrelevant past probably next month. We're going to have we're starting the beta developer beta program with Upland. It's here, it's happening. And so those tools will be available for the community very soon. I mean, when I say very soon, we're probably like 2 to 3 months away from those tools being available for you guys to access and use and build your own stuff. It doesn't.
Sorry. And as UDU members, we do not, none of us, I'm the founder of UDU. I don't have any access to UPX.WORLD that, you know, I don't have any special privileges or access. It's the same as every other player in the game. I don't know about you, DJ, do you have special access?
I do not. No, I have normal access that everyone else would have. When I go to UP2.LAND or UPX.WORLD, it's the exact same access that you can get on your phone or your computer.
Yeah, so this is the thing. I've actually had, just so you guys know, full disclosure, I've actually had UDU members come to me and ask me, hey man, can you get me something that would work for the UDU or something like that? And it wasn't nefarious. They were just asking me as a question, like, hey, can I have this? Absolutely not. My answer is no, right? Because I cannot, it doesn't make any sense for me to make a tool that works for everyone and then just give it to some, right? The tool is there. We have it running. It's for everyone. I don't need it, to be honest with you. I mean, guys, honestly, I get 4.4 million a month in UPX on my divs, my returns. Okay. So I don't need to play the, you know, the dollar cents game on UPX World. I'm doing it really as a labor of love at this point, because eventually I'd like to win your guys' trust. And eventually I'd like you guys to buy my premium tools at UP2.LAND, right? That's the honest answer. If we're being 100% honest, I want to win the trust of the community, so you guys know that I'm not a POS. And once we do that, then, hey guys, listen, I'll make some really nice property management tools that have nothing to do with data. I want to make that clear. But then you guys maybe might want to subscribe to that for me to help me out, because I made an investment in you guys, and I'm hoping that you guys will invest back in me. I mean, we're all business people here. I think it's,
and honestly, can I jump in right there, Venom? Can I jump in for a second? Honestly, I feel like we're lucky that it was Venom and not somebody else, because look at how passionate he is. Look at how well-spoken he is. Look at the amount of money he's dumping into the game and this project. This tool is going to be first class when it's ready, and he announces that it's ready. There's not going to be anything better. And we're lucky that a big developer didn't come in first and do the same thing, because now we have an actual Upland player in the game who understands what Uplanders want, and he's going to be the one putting the tool out. And we couldn't ask for anything more, in my opinion.
I'm glad you said that, DJ. I'm glad you said that, because you guys know what I did when I first bought UPX.WORLD? I said, I have an in-house developers. I handed it to my in-house developers and I said, hey guys, here. And they looked at me like, what the hell do you want us to do with this? Right? They had no idea. So what was I supposed to do? Teach these guys how to play Upland? Like, I'm going to teach them how to play Upland, and then they're going to develop for the game. And then, you know, like, no, like everybody's like, oh, well, you play Upland and you shouldn't have. Well, that's what you guys, I would assume, would want, is somebody who plays Upland versus somebody who doesn't play Upland to develop tools. It came from Hacker. Everybody knows Hacker's a solid guy. Everybody knows he's been in the community a long time. He built the program. Him and I are partners. He's working on other stuff now. He's moving on to greener pastures, and I'm taking the baton from him, and we're going to try to make UP2.LAND something amazing for you guys. I really, it's to me, it behooves me to protect the sanctity of the community, right? Not only for myself, not only for you guys, not only for my development, but for Upland as a whole. Because if we can't have a good, healthy community that takes care of each other and moves forward to build these things, then we're not going to have an investment later on in the future. Like, this is about investment. Every single one of us is an owner, right? We're all owners here. We're investing in something. I'm investing in you guys as much as you're investing in me, right? Ebenezer can speak to this. Ebenezer, guys, recently had a situation where he made a mistake, right? And I'm not trying to put you on blast, Ebenezer, you know I love you, but I wanted to, this is important because I want to make a point. So please understand why I'm bringing this up. But Ebenezer had a thing where he made a mistake. Somebody got his account and they were selling his stuff like hotcakes, right? So the bottom line is the community came in and saved this guy's stuff, right? And I contacted him out of nowhere, and I said, hey, Ebenezer, let me help you out, man. And he can tell you guys what I did for him. I'm not gonna put it up, but I did something for him. I hooked him up really nicely so he can continue to stay in the game. I don't want to lose players to stuff like that, right?
Right, I think we've answered that question, and we need to kind of be a bit more succinct because we're 20 minutes in and we've answered 2 questions.
Yeah, I think, but we're answering a lot too, right? But let me just real quick. Dr. Prophet has a question right here. He says, just a thought, why not consider opening the beta with their new tool as developed to the community to partake in? Yes, anybody that wants to partake in the beta for UP2.LAND can sign up with me. I'm going to have a sign up form on the site very soon. I haven't done much updating to it because I've been working on a lot of stuff, but anybody that's in this room or wherever that wants to take a part of the beta can for UP2.LAND. So that's for sure.
Alrighty, let's put it out for another question. If we don't have another question, I'll go back to you, Facemo, because I know you've got lots. Does anybody else have a question they'd like to ask?
Can I jump in shortly? I mean, I think that this really shows NVEN0M that Upland is not a decentralized game. I mean, this is a good example, not only of the Spark people that are working together, but also this site I think it shows that it's a centralized game. So I wanted to add that. I also have one short question. I saw a dashboard for the Up2.LAND site. Can you perhaps tell us more about the beta program? So more specific, what kind of property management tools are there in concept? I mean, there are some tools, I guess, also on the Upland fence side. I don't know, will they come together, or can you perhaps tell us a bit more about that?
Are you talking about the Upland fan server?
Yeah, he's talking about the bots, I believe.
Yeah, those bots,
yeah.
those bots all come from me. Those are all bots that are connected to UPX World. And we have a deal with Thank Me Later, and we're leaving those there as well. So those aren't changing. Those are going to continue to stay on.
And just to clarify, those bots are they're market monitoring bots. They don't interact with the market in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. So our tools are going to be, you know, I don't know if I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys took part in giving me your suggestions based on what you think can be added to the game or troubles that you had playing the game on Up2.LAND. So a lot of those suggestions are what we're going to put forth. I mean, primarily it's being able to list your properties, being able to see your properties as the property cards and organize them the way that you'd want to visually, make those changes on app, and then have them reflect in game. But I think that we're going to take it, you know, multiple on sale at the same time, multiple off sale at the same time, multiple offers. There's going to be video chat, video meetings that you can have just like this, but it's going to be in game. You'll be able to make an offer, send it to another player who's a UP2.LAND player, and on the offer you'll have a message in there that says, "Hey guys, I want to put, or hey, I want to buy your property, and this is why I'm giving you that amount, or this is why I'm trading that property." That doesn't exist right now, and you don't know how many deals I've rejected because I don't know what the guy's thinking. It's just like, hey, here's this building. But if you would tell me like, hey, I'm sending you this building because XYZ, I might be more apt to accept the offer, right? Those things are going to be available. But the step further that we're going to take it is, I want to start connecting the metaverses for all of us, right? So there's Uplift World, there's Our Planet, there's all these other places that are out there that, you know, I think I'm starting to see Uplanders kind of migrate out around the, you know, as you learn here, you learn how to buy NFTs and buy, sell, trade, then you can maybe hear about Our Planet, and you can maybe hear about Uplift World. So I want to kind of make UP2.LAND somewhat of a portal that direction as well, where we can talk to other sites and other, you know, integrations and make that happen, because you know, decentralized currency does not, in my opinion, mean that the metaverses have to become centralized in their own things. I would like, if I'm just being frank, I would like a situation where I can make an exchange or something like that on UP2.LAND, where I can exchange currency, let's say from Our Planet, and hopefully one day UPX to cash, or to, I mean, to wax to cash, whatever. So those are types of things that I might be thinking of in the future. But yeah, property management, every property management tool that you guys can possibly think of is probably going to be there, because it's all from your guys' suggestions. So,
and we've had a follow-up question from Liquid Emoji. He's asked if bots are going to pretty much remain behind a paywall. There are several community groups that run their own bots that nobody has access to unless you're in those communities. The community ones that are available are in the fan server site. And yes, at the moment that's behind a paywall, but in NVEN0M, I believe those are going to move over to UP2.LAND. Is that correct? Or they're going to be replicated there? Is that going to be behind the subscription wall, or are they going to be open?
So the answer to that question is difficult. We're still in talks with Thank Me Later, so I don't want to step on his toes at all. We're negotiating how that's all going to look, so I can't speak on it yet. Yeah. But yeah, right now that's Thank Me Later is kind of in charge of that fan server. He's the guy that's kind of my main point of contact for that. Him and I are friends. We're doing business together. So yeah, I you know, what he wants to do with those is up to him. I've just basically made the promise to him that I'll allow him to do what he wants with them at this point in time. So yeah, I'll have more answers on that later. I can't answer it right this second.
Right. Anybody else have a question for us? Over to you, Faisama.
Didn't want to capitalize. Thank you very much. So another thing that has gone around in terms of rumor about the team is some collusion. And to be clear about what this means, because you've talked a little bit about it, but I want to give you an opportunity to speak to it specifically, is collusion in setting prices for areas, buying out using players to buy out at lower prices than to just hand off to bigger players, that sort of a thing. We've also had rumor of, unfortunately, things like multi-accounting or off the chain deals that are then being used to give benefit to the UDU or its members.
Can we just answer
others
that
are now
first? Can we answer that first section, because that's
absolutely.
separate
Please
bit.
go right ahead.
DJ, I think you'd be the person to talk to there, because you're the latest member that's really set up a node from scratch. Do you want to speak to the process of how we go about identifying an area, how we go about coordinating to buy it out, and then especially on the back end with the FSA players and that sort of thing?
Sure. So I just secured the node in Oakland with the help of the UDU members. We've got the Upper Diamond neighborhood, the Diamond neighborhood, as well as the school neighborhood. That's a massive coordination, right? So, and also a massive amount of UPX. I've got 5 or 6 million UPX just parked in Upper Diamond. The way I got my FSA players was I went in general and I found people that were chatting every day, and I found a guy that I wanted to work with, and he got 7 or 8 FSA players and he coordinated all of them, and I threw UPX at them and they all got paid. Everybody got at least a 5X on their property. I think that's more than fair. Some people got a lot more than that. I definitely paid up for those properties from the ones that I wasn't able to secure myself. You know, I forewent the collections. I didn't mint a single collection in Oakland. I completely skipped that. I didn't get a bunch of properties by the highway. I skipped all of that. I went straight to Diamond every release, and I was there the whole time until there was nothing left to mint. And you can go look on UP2.LAND and see how many properties I have there. I'm holding, the mint price is about 3.5 million in UPX, and the actual price is closer to 5 or 6 million. I don't even have the exact number anymore. But I've got a lot of UPX sitting there, and I plan on dumping a lot of Spark there. And that's the plan. And I you know, and being in the UDU, these guys are with me. They're my teammates. They have the same vision. You know, they're ready to ride with me, right? There's no collusion, you know, or call it collusion. Maybe it is. I don't know. You call it whatever you want. But we took a lot of time and money, and we made up a plan. And literally, here's how it went. We got the map just before the drop of the first release of Oakland, and I didn't want to make the call, and it was on me. And I didn't want to make the call until I had the map, because who knows where they were really going to draw those lines. So literally 5 minutes before Oakland opened, we made the call.
5 seconds it was. Like, we're going, come on, DJ, make the choice, make the choice.
I think isn't that recorded?
True. Yeah,
it's recorded somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, I've recorded it and I put it together with that DJ dancing thing. Yeah, I think you've covered how we first secure a node and what we do. Can you also speak to what Facimo is talking about, which is kind of, it's getting on board of how and why we buy up the floor and raise the market prices in our key neighborhoods. Why do we do that? How do we do that?
Okay, yeah. So the reason that we do that is because these properties are going to be valuable. And as we see them to be valuable, we'd like to have a collection of them. And also we want people that do obtain these properties to be with us, not against us. So if we find out that there is a reason that we want all the properties in the neighborhood to look the same for some reason or something like that, we have the open communication. We're right there. We know this guy. We talk to him all the time. It should be very simple. It shouldn't be a headache, right? Where a lot of people are going to have those headaches to deal with. We're not going to have those kinds of headaches. We might have other problems, but what we've really done, what UDU really is opened communication for as many people as possible, as quickly as possible, so that we can all get on the same page, so that we're not fighting about little things. Like, I'm sure a lot of people don't care what color the roof is, but maybe it makes a huge difference, right? Or maybe it doesn't matter which order you develop the properties, or maybe it matters significantly. We just don't know these answers yet. But if everybody in one neighborhood is working together, it should be very easy to get people to do the things that are going to benefit everyone as a collective group. You know, it's about communication. That's really what it is at the end of the day. Everyone is talking. We all have open lines. We're all back and forth. Nobody else has done that. That's the real difference. That's the differentiator. And we're all Uplanders, and we all think alike. And we've developed a process to vet people so that we've got the really good people in UDU, and the people who really aren't cut out for it or that we don't want in our premier neighborhoods, we've got a way to filter them out now. So, you know, it's really unbelievable. I don't want to say too much before I dig myself a hole here, but yeah, if somebody wants to jump in, I mean,
all right, I'll jump in. I'll take the baton. Go ahead, Ben.
Just before you go, Ben, we've got a follow-up question from Dr. Prophet in chat. He's asked, why do UDU members try to prevent others from doing the same by buying low-value props in districts others are building in and then jacking the prices up to tens of thousands of % above actual real market prices? I can speak to that. I keep my finger on the pulse in the entire community. I have multiple properties in a lot of the other co-ops areas. I'm interested in what other people are doing. If I see that somebody has a plan in an area, yeah, I want to be a part of that. It might not be immediately. If you're seeing UDU members jacking their prices way up, it's because they don't want to sell those properties and they don't want to be hammered by offers. That's pretty much the gist of it. And we see the same within our neighborhoods. We see people come in and buy up the properties. And if you want to take a look at the market in Midtown Terrace, you know, there's plenty of people there with properties that are not priced realistically. They are telling us, I'm in here and I do not want to sell. That's,
yeah. Can I speak to this couple things real quick? Cause that's I was just kind of thinking about it. So everybody does this, right? At least I do, because on my landmarks, I get bullshit offers all the time, right? And so I put my landmark up to 999, whatever, 100 million or whatever it is, and then uncheck both, you know, UPX and whatever offers, because I don't want to get an offer where I'm, you know, not paying attention or something and actually accidentally clicked accept, and then it's, you know, shitty luck. But I mean, if you go to Balboa Terrace right now, we got guys like Flow 09. I don't know. There's a couple other guys there that I mean, they got $300,000, $400,000 properties in Balboa Terrace. And the only reason why those guys were watching when I was minting Balboa Terrace, and I know Flow 09 for sure was doing it because he got there the same time I did, and he managed to get 5 from me. And they've remained there, and they're still there as a monument to what I'm talking about at 400,000. UPX at the time when he put that 400,000, their floor was probably 25,000, maybe less. It was actually, we just minted them, so it was just 15,000 UPX, right? Yeah. So it happens all the time, right? It's just people playing the game of, you know, hey, I'm gonna get charged this and charge that, and you know, whatever. But I mean, I personally don't sell much, and when I do, I try to make a profit where I can. I believe in hodling because I think that all these properties are going to be way more expensive than the stuff that we're talking about right now. I think that especially in San Francisco, you're going to see some crazy prices as the Genesis city, as these other cities start opening up more and more. And San Francisco is going to be crazy. So I would say the play is to hold all of it until it's coming up. But anyways, yeah, I don't necessarily do any of that personally. I'm one of the largest, besides TM, one of the largest property owners, actually second number of properties in the game. So I don't, and TM is part of UDU too.
Oh, I've got you. I've got more properties than you right now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I think I got a couple hundred
good.
more than you.
That's good. That just shows me I need to get to work.
There you go.
No, but that's even better, because that means that me, DJ, and TM are together in the amount of properties. I mean, combined.
Us three collectively, it's almost 17,000 right now.
Dr. Prophet.
I'm not trying to sell.
Dr. Prophet has followed up and asked, then basically he's saying that we expect other people to sell our node properties to us at market rates, but we're not doing the same in return. I can speak to how Midtown Terrace went about. Yeah, DJ and we and a lot of other people helped out as well. We completed the mint out of Midtown Terrace, and then yeah, we went on an offer spree as part of raising the floor. We don't know if those accounts are alive or dead. and that's part of the process of sending offers out. You're under no obligation to sell if you don't want to sell. And it's important to note that there's a difference between the inflated market price and the actual market price. I've spent millions in Midtown Terrace inflating the market way up above the reach of flippers, but the actual market price is a lot lower. And you can see that, you can see the difference there. If you go to UPX.WORLD, if you look at the market price might be 380K. But if you go to and look through the transactions and look at the last 10 purchase prices, that might be 100K. That's the kind of buffer that we're trying to create, where we don't expect anybody to sell to us if they don't want to. I'm not kind of understanding that at all. And you're under no obligation to sell to us either. I don't really understand that one.
Yeah.
We've got to kind of find that delicate spot between the right price and the right people, because we don't want to give these properties away and we want the right people, but we realize they're going to be valuable. So it's kind of, we're playing a delicate balance. You know, UDU is not even 3 months old yet. We've grown at an exponential rate. It's insanity. If you chart these numbers on a graph, it's a line straight up. So, I mean, you know, there's things we haven't figured out yet. We're still working it out. We're going to hit some bumps in the road, but all in all, I'd say it's 99% success rate. I mean, we're knocking the ball out of the park time and time again. Every time we do this, it's just another home run after home run after home run, another one. It's unstoppable.
So let me go ahead and throw out the second half of that question that I started on back at the beginning here before we went down this path. And that is, there has been accusations that there's some favoritism going on for members of the UDU. You know, this is in relation to the fact that in some cases, like Thank Me Later has openly stated he's done off-the-chain agreements and trades with players where other individuals are finding themselves in jail in Alcatraz right now over that. And, you know, that I think really reflects more on Upland than UDU. So I want to make that clear up front. But I want to just ask just openly and give you opportunity to respond to it. You know, do you have an in with the Upland development team or members of Upland itself that is in any way giving you any advantage at all over all of us single players out there?
Yeah,
I'll jump in real quick.
Hang on a minute, DJ. I just want to clarify
ahead,
that Thank Me Later is not a UDU member. And yeah, I'm not sure what you're going to say, DJ, but all I'll say is
thank you for the clarification. Just heard his name being part of the conversation and made a false assumption there.
That's right. And well, I can speak to that from my own personal experience, because as you know, Faisal, I've talked to you about this. I have done OTC trades. And it's important to understand that this was several months ago. At the time, the team was constantly reiterating that we don't condone it. So that's neither here or there for it. There has obviously, as we've discussed, there has obviously been a change of policies and procedures that has not been communicated to the community. I have.
So thank you for your transparency, Ben.
Hang on a minute. I have passed on several really good opportunities to trade OTC recently because the team hasn't clarified their position. I'm not going to risk my own personal account until the team clarifies their position. So as far as an in or anything like that, no, I mean, that's not the case at all. The only UDU member that has any sort of contact with the team directly outside of moderator things for the server is NVEN0M, and that is because he's working with them on UP2.LAND. Myself personally, I've never spoken to any team member at all unless it was some boring stuff associated with my account. Sorry, DJ, you go.
No, thank you for your transparency, first of all, for letting everyone know. And then, yeah, I was just going to say, I was going to jump in and say NVEN0M is probably the best one to speak on this because he's the only one with direct contact. But yeah, if you want to jump in, NVEN0M.
Yeah, I'll jump in. So yeah, I do have obviously an agreement, I guess you want to say, with Upland for the development of UP2.LAND. The agreement has to exist as a developer. don't necessarily, it's not coming from me directly. My company, Green Rabbit Holdings, has a deal with them. I'm a managing partner of Green Rabbit Holdings. I'm sure you guys all know how LLCs work and whatnot. So the company is actually there. We're a development company. It's a development deal. And it's a third-party developer deal. So like I said, it kind of harkens back to what we were talking about in the beginning of a community development deal. They had to vet me and my company, guys. They had to make sure that I had financial solvency. They had to make sure I had insurance. They had to make sure that I had that I could do what I say as far as my dev team was concerned, because they're making a huge investment towards getting these tools out. They want, believe it or not, they want to get us the property management tools as much as we want them. The problem is that their timeline is so ambitious that it just keeps getting pushed back, further and further and further. So when I approached them and said, hey guys, I can do it and you guys can work on other stuff, they said, okay, let's give them a shot, because I was able to prove that I could do it, so then that's not just that. I mean, I had to show other projects I've done and other things in real life and stuff like that. So the bottom line is that's as far as the extent of the agreement between me and Upland goes. Like me personally, there's nothing with me personally, except for I've had to sign an NDA about all of that, stuff about the development side of it. I mean, what I'm saying here is what I can say. I can't say anything more about, how the development is going to go or what's happening or where it's at or whatnot. But I can say that, yeah, there's agreement there, and it's with my company, Green Rabbit. So, it's impossible for us not to do a development tool without the agreement. But I want to caveat that by saying I also have put a pretty big cushion between myself and anybody else on the leaderboard, right? Last I checked, it's about 60 something grand, 68 grand or something like that, 63 grand, worth of UPX, 63 million UPX, $63,000 US, right? So I would just think that, like, right now, I'm not really buying anything. I don't really have any strategy with the newer stuff that's coming out. I might want to buy some stuff in Chicago personally, just because I just want to maybe grab a few properties there. But in the last 3-4 properties, I haven't been. I'm looking and buying landmarks, guys. Right? That's where my that's where my minting goes. I like buying landmarks. I like buying, one thing that we got to do, and I'm sure that everybody's going to benefit from this one, is as soon as I bought Rockefeller Center, they took me into this Zoom meeting, and there's this lady there, and she's from CBS and CNN, right? And her name was Lori Siegel, and we did a 20-minute interview about Upland, about how this all works, and I hit that one out of the park. I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I don't know what the spirits took over me or something. I just was really, really well spoken, and I did a great job. I'm serious. You guys will see it. Well, I guess we did so well that 60 Minutes picked it up. So we were supposed to have May 23rd being the date on CNN Money. Well, 60 Minutes picked it up and is doing a whole 60-minute segment on Upland on the 13th of June, right? So what we're going to all experience now is that influx of people and people that are interested. 60 Minutes is huge. That's, I mean, there's people international watching that thing. It's a big deal, and that's all going to be pushing towards us for Upland. And so those are the types of things I'm interested in doing, guys. I'm not interested in buying your, trying to undercut you for a $30,000 or 30,000 UPX property. Most of the time, like Ask Ebenezer, I give them away. I've given away more property value than I have bought in the last month and a half. So I really want to think that you guys would have to worry about me. I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to say, hey, nothing here, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not, my mind is in a whole different direction right now. I'm trying to make all of our investments more valuable. Like that's where I started out. Like, hey, look, if we're gonna do this, let's make this thing like take this and make it like the next millionaire story, where we all of us were early adopters and we all won and we all believed in something and we all made it happen. That's really what I'm working hard to do. And I feel like at this point, I'm doing a pretty dang good job of it, if I don't say so myself. I mean, I don't think anybody would disagree. Maybe there might be, but I would say that they're wrong, and I could prove it. You know what I mean? So
nice. Faisamo, can you also touch on, I believe you had an aspect that you wanted to question about multi-accounting or something, or did you finish that?
Yeah, you missed me at Wonder Wheel. I was taking a break. Sorry, guys. Somebody said.
Yeah, There has been, and I just want to put it out there, there's been accusations of some multi-accounting by members of the UDU, and maybe not even necessarily the UDU, but by extension, the whales in the game. That some of this happened early on. It's giving unfair advantage, and it's that the whales are getting a pass, where obviously other members of the overall community are not, and I think we all agree should not get a pass on that kind of abuse of the overall system. Can you speak anything to that, the validity or the whatever of those allegations?
Yeah, I'm going to speak to that for you right now. I have never myself personally, I can tell you 1000%, everything about me is on the chain. You can look at all my accounts, whatever, never made any kind of multi accounts myself. I've only done one time, only once in my entire Upland career, a collection swap. And that was just because one of the guys was a friend of mine and he said, hey, can you swap? And that was downtown in Oakland, but I've never done a collection swap other than that one and any of that. But I'm glad that you asked that question. You submitted to me a red line copy of the toss, right? And I took that and I submitted that to X1, and I said, X1, listen, the guys in the chat are talking like, you know, they don't understand the toss. And I said, I agree with them. I said, the toss is vague and there's some scary stuff for guys that want to just play the game. He said, absolutely. We're working on the toss as we speak. And I sent him your document and I told him, as true to my word, this is a player. I didn't use your name, but I said, this is a player. He made this document and I want you guys to look at it. Please send it to whoever you got to send up the stream to look at it. And I know X1 from dealing with him in this game, and I've dealt with him. He's always been a straight shooter with me. I know he's going to do it. He said he would. So he said also that the new toss and the updated stuff about Alcatraz is coming out very, very soon, and it's based on your guys' feedback. So the bottom line is that's proof positive that something. Actually, this meeting is proof positive that something that you guys are concerned about in the community can create something, an opportunity for all of us to learn from each other and move forward. But what I would really want to have happen from this thing is, like, I think that we could create, I guess the word is treaties. You know, this is one of my UDU members that brought this up. He said, hey, why don't we just do something where we make treaties with other players and other groups where it's kind of like we're peaceful. You guys don't have to be part of the UDU if you don't want to, but we're gonna, you know, you could still be cool with us and we could be cool with you. Instead of making it where we're fighting against each other, we can all work together. And that's the way I think it should be. Maybe treaty is too much of a fancy schmancy word. Ben, you might want to jump in on that, but I'm just saying I would like to make it so we all have connections together. And I think that I've reached out to Dr. Prophet. I've reached out to you, Feasmo. I've reached out to I don't know, I saw the other guy here, YK, whatever. I've talked to many of you guys, and I would want to be able to work with you guys instead of trying to work against you guys. That's my personal opinion. I think the UDU should do the same, but that's, you know, Ben, you want to talk to that?
I think a lot of the confusion, getting back to what Feasmo was talking about with recent accusations of multi-accounting, is not understanding the FSA agent process and how that works. We had a situation recently where one of our members was put on blast, and there was kind of semi-threat sent to me that I'm going to release this publicly. So I just put it straight out there. As we've said, everything's on the chain. If you do a little digging, it's pretty easy to sort out what happened. Venom knows this. I'm pretty sure DJ knows this, and anybody that's been in this community for a while knows this. I'm the expert to talk about multi-accounts because I used to run multi-accounts. I came into this game as a kind of hobby beta tester for mobile games. I have a long history of beta testing mobile games. My expertise in that was in finding flaws in the in-app purchase system, or how things can be manipulated to be taken advantage of. So I followed and as part of that, there was one game that I found a flaw that, you know, that saved that team hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I got a couple of t-shirts and a few stickers. So I thought that was awesome at the time. So when I came into this game, it seemed funny. Oh, they're going to give you some free currency straight away. So I said, okay, well, let's how we're going to game the system here. So yeah, I set up some multi accounts and I ran a few things. And keep in mind, this is January 2020, so quite a while ago. At that time, this was before Discord was a thing. There was no real community presence. There was Telegram had only just started, and I got on Telegram, and one of the real veteran players had a look through my bot feed and said, "Mate, what are you doing?" You know, he put me on blast in the community and said, "You know, you're breaking the terms of service here." So once I became aware that you know, that wasn't a good thing to do, that all ceased immediately. So yeah, I'm aware of that situation, and this comes up. I don't know. There's a few players that constantly like to bring this up, trying to throw me under the bus or something. I've made no qualms about being open and public. If you search my chat history, there's multiple times I've outlined the same exact thing. Yeah. So we know that situation exists, and hang on a minute. And as part of what was done and what went public in those early stages, from that developed the Alcatraz system and all of that. That came on months later. So, you know, and at the end of the day, I think I might have made, like, I don't know, it would have been 10,000 UPX. So it was bugger all. Basically, I was just playing around to see what I could get away with. So, you know, but yeah, sorry, Venom, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just want to say for anybody that's wondering, and like I said, I'll put my reputation on the line, and I've never done a shady deal in this game. I can tell you that right now. Find somebody that says I've screwed them over, I did something wrong in this game. I just haven't done it. I don't have to. I can put my money where my mouth is, and I'm a straight up guy. I'm a straight shooter. I've been a straight shooter with every single one of you guys since day one, right? But I can tell you with 100% certainty that this guy Ben right here and this guy DJ right here, they're straight shooters as well. I put my reputation on the line for both of these guys, 100%, 100,000,000%. I'm not saying that because of UDU. I'm not saying that because of whatever. I'm saying that because it's true, right? Now, has the UDU grown so fast that it's hard for me to keep tabs on every single person inside the UDU and watching what they're doing? Absolutely, yes, right? I can't tell you that every single person in the UDU is following what myself and Ben and DJ designed to start this thing, right? But I can tell you that if we find it, Dr. Prophet can tell you, right? And Felicimo can tell you, and I'm trying to think of all these other people here that have talked to me. If I find it, I'm going to shut it off. I don't want that stuff in the UDU. So even UDU members that are watching this right now, I'm telling you right now, if I find you multi-accounting or playing game in the system or taking advantage of other people or doing anything like that, you're personally screwing with my business, and I'm going to cut you out of the UDU myself. I'll shut it down, and I can do that. I have the power to do so. Right.
And we said that in the beginning. If you go back to the very first UDU meetings, we've said that multiple times. We don't participate in that. We're cracking down on it. Maybe we weren't there, you know, day one, but how are we supposed to police the entire economy of Upland? You know, we're just a group of guys and gals. So we can't be there for every single transaction, every single multi-account. But I remember the point I wanted to make earlier. I think I could say it right now. I kind of think as UDU, as an insurance company that we've built here, you know, an insurance for everybody who has made an investment in Upland, because we're making things happen. We have direct lines of communication with the developers. And when things go wrong, we're the ones people are going to come look for. It's going to be UDU. If there's a problem, they're coming to us. We're the ones that are going to solve it, right? For the whole community. That's what we do. So that's the reputation I want to have. And just to harp on everything Venom and Ben have already said. But that's my 2 cents about it for that part.
This guy, John McCone, is that it? He was saying that treaty is the best way to work together and onboard new players. It's definitely a win-win. The final value of Upland will be determined by the number of players with the level of engagement. Okay, we started something. Actually, Ben started something called the UDUA, which is the UDU Academy. That's a place for new players to get involved with the UDU and learn about the UDU. It's actually kind of like the UDU staging area, which where you, as a player, and us as an organization can see if we can work well together. We learn about each other. And we have one of the UDU graduates from the UDU Academy was here. I don't know if he's still here. Jacula, you want to come and say something real quick?
Hello. Yeah. Hi. How you doing? Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be in the game still probably if it wasn't for the UDU, and because I was lost when I came in, and finding the academy and finding the guys to just kind of help me walk through what I needed to do has been great. And every single one of them has been stand up, straightforward, honest, very transparent. So I've had only good experiences so far with everything, with the academy and with UDU, now full-fledged UDU. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, awesome. And then one last guy real quick, Crypto Jedi, if you could hop in there real quick. Crypto Jedi was an FSA player from back in the day. Now he's I want to say he's a dolphin. He's a mini whale.
Yeah,
He's a mini whale, but
Jedi was one of my FSA agents. That's how we got talking. And at the start, I didn't know CJ from a bar of soap.
yeah, and the reason why I'm calling on him, guys, is because this guy is a direct example of what the UDU can do for somebody, right? This is what it. So Jedi, please speak to what we're talking about here, man, please.
All right. So what's up, everybody? Yeah, the UDU and the UDUA, it's really gonna, especially for new players, it's really gonna fast track your success. If not for being in the UDU, just with the knowledge and the wisdom that you gain through this process. And then on top of that, if that's all you take from it, I mean, it can change. I'm sorry, I'm kind of lost for words right now, but it can really exponentialize your growth in the game. And it's this is a great team of people that you can really utilize their efforts. That's what's cool about this collaboration, this group. I mean, someone said, talked about having an in with the development team. Every single person here in this call has the opportunity to reach out to the development team and to build these relationships. Just because someone took the opportunity and you didn't, does not speak any negative things about that person. They just took an opportunity and they seized it. And in the same sense, I'm doing the same thing with this. I mean, there's so many guys here that you can grow and learn from.
And Jedi, you're not only in the UDU, you're also in other co-ops as well.
Oh yeah, I'm in quite a few different groups, and I have quite a few different things going similar to with the UDU. I mean, you only put the limits on yourself. And if you're pointing to others saying, oh, they're doing this, oh, they're doing that, what is preventing you from doing that? Why can't you start your own collaboration or things like that if you don't approve of the UDU and stuff like that, which there shouldn't be a reason why not, because it's a great group of people. But there's so many different people you can grow with, and there should never be a negative stigma based on your growth just from these relationships that you build. But yeah, I think everyone will benefit just from looking into it, just from the relationships they build, let alone the opportunities that it also presents.
Yeah, and that's not restricted to the UDU. You get involved with any co-op in the game, and you're going to find benefits with working together with other players.
And a good example of that, Ben, is Scooby, right? Scooby, you see his name right there, Scooby icon. That's Scooby's own cooperative that he's a part of, and it's a big deal. I mean, he came and did a good presentation for us last time, and I was blown away. And these guys are doing their own thing. They're not beholden to the UDU or have to dance around our commands or whatever. They're doing whatever the hell they want to. But Scooby's still involved with us, and we're trying to get together and see where we can work together and maybe have some parties together and some events together and stuff like that. So guys, the reason why I'm even bringing that up is just so you guys can see, like any one of you guys could be a UDU member today, and you guys could go and do whatever the heck you want tomorrow. And it's not like we're going to kick you out of the UDU or have some, no, man, that's what I built this thing for, is so we could build networking and connections with people all over the place and inside and outside of the game. I know every single person who's ever seen me speak has heard me say those words. Let's make connections inside and outside of the game. That's what I'm about. That's what I think we should all be about, because eventually that's what's going to make us the money in the future. You know what I mean? I'm about making money. I mean, money. Let's get it. I want everybody in this room to be rich right now, and that's the truth. I mean, I'm serious when I say that.
Alrighty, thank you for that. I'll throw it open again for another question. We're going on for a bit over an hour now, so I'll open it up, and if not, we'll head back to you, Faisimo. Over to you, Faisimo.
Yeah, like you said, we've been going on for an hour, and honestly, I've hit on all the major points, and with just your own responses to those, you've hit additional ones. Really want to thank all of you guys for a great Ask Me Anything here, sharing your knowledge, sharing your experience, sharing the truth and what you are, what you're about, what you're trying to accomplish here, and only love to all of you. Appreciate what you're doing. Appreciate your openness and your willingness to share with us what you're trying to do, what you're about. I'd ask you that you'd, in putting this out there, put out some of these links of where we can get access to some of this, along with this message about this UDU-A. We're talking about some of the bots that we have available from Thank Me Later. We have the UP2.LAND that's out there that you talked about, and UPX.WORLD. A lot of different links. A little bit that's in that is in the chat, but we don't necessarily. Here's where we can find out more. If you can make that accessible to us, we'd love it.
I'll make a landing page for UDU related links on UP2.LAND.com. So UP2.LAND, not UP2.LAND.com, UP2.LAND. But I'll make sure the link is available to everybody. That way, it's just a page full of links, and you guys can go in there and have fun and just click on whatever you guys need to.
And I can speak to that as well, Faisimo. I've personally taken a decision to step right back from engagement in the general chat. At this point in time, the juice just isn't worth the squeeze. I'm going to be focusing all of my efforts on, moving forward, working together, and basically I'm just going to stop wasting time getting involved in all of that nonsense. Last week I just found myself hours and hours of just getting nowhere, basically. It kind of gets to the point for me personally, and speaking from myself personally, not in a reflection of everybody else. It's come to the point where either you get it or you don't. I think we've got more than enough information out there for people to make up their own mind as to if they want to look further. If you want to look further, you can reach out to myself in DM. But yeah, I'm pretty much done with getting involved in silly things in chat and that sort of stuff.
And me too.
Yeah.
So, guys, you guys can always reach out to DMs. I like hopping into general once in a while just because I like to talk to people. But I think last week I was frustrated. I just got frustrated just because I feel like, I believe in the community so much, and I care about this community so much, and to have people thinking like that I'm not, or I'm doing something that's not, not trying to benefit all of us is just frustrating to me, because I put my heart and soul in this for you guys. I really do. And my pocketbook. I'm deep, cash deep. Look at how much money I spend on just Upland alone, so you guys can imagine how much money I'm spending to keep this thing going. And it's just frustrating to me when people don't. You don't have to appreciate it, but just at least understand. Like, just all I ask is understand that, hey, this guy's out here. He doesn't have to do any of this stuff, and he's doing it. And let's just give him at least a, hey man, thank you, or whatever. Just a acknowledgement that it's done, but I can say Isimo, Dr. Prophet, and all the other guys, maybe you guys had Ebenezer, all the other guys that I talked to in DMs and stuff like that, they all have been very, very respectful, very, very appreciative. So you guys, for every one guy that tells me to fuck off, there's 10 guys that says me I'm great. So I appreciate that from all you guys, because I do work hard for you. I really do. And there's going to be some pretty cool NFT stuff coming out soon, guys. So look for that, because that's going to be a good way for all of us to make some money. And everybody in this room, if you see anything Green Rabbit in the early stages, early adopters, man, that's where we can start working, making some money together. Look at our planet. Look where it is now. Imagine if we were on our planet when it first started. So just keep an eye out for that stuff. That's not a plug. That's just trying to give you guys some firsthand knowledge. So yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're the gateholder to your own success. That's what we've been about from the get-go. And look, I've had plenty of life experience. I understand that it's kind of human nature to think the worst of things immediately. People always take the time to complain. They don't always take the time to praise.
Didn't like me at first. Honestly, he didn't. I tried to talk to him and he'd go.
Yeah, I ghosted you. Yeah. And DJ as well. DJ as well. I'm like, dude, what's this? He's trying to buy all my shit. What's going on here? Yeah.
I still want those financial district properties, Ben.
I know you do, mate. I know you do.
Hey, Ben, I'm not going to tell you how many properties you beat me to going out there on those low sales. How many times I've been frustrated watching you beat me to those things. Love what you're doing, guys.
Appreciate
Absolutely love your openness, transparency, willingness to share with us, and get past some of the nonsense that's going out there. And only respect and thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate all of you, and I'm always available. If you guys have questions or problems or anything at all, I will do my best to try to help you. So please DM me. Let's talk about it before it becomes some issue in chat. I mean, just come and talk to me. Ask me what's up. I'll try my best to answer. And then if you don't like me past that point, then yeah, sure, let me have it in chat. But I'd like to at least the first right to opportunity to help you with whatever the issue is. So that's my ask.
That goes for any UDU identified member in the chat. If you have a question or a concern, reach out to anybody. I might not be around, DJ might not be around, but somebody will, if we can't answer it immediately, they'll put the processes in to get your question answered as soon as possible.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. I got to get going. So I'm sure thank you for taking your time on Saturday, everybody. And hopefully this helps everybody understand what's going on. And I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks,
Venom. DJ, you want to wrap up?
Yeah, real quick. I just want to give a shout out. I see Patafi out there and I see your Prince. What's going on, guys? How you doing, Patafi? You want to say hey real quick, or can you just introduce yourself? I've been working with this guy for a while.
Yeah, thank you very much. Everybody I've introduced you to or brought into some of our channels. You guys have been great, and I really enjoy it. Yeah, but thank you for today and for everything.
No worries.
Cool. Thanks for jumping in, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for listening. I saw you were here the whole time, so very cool. And yeah, I just wanted to give the shout outs. Anybody else want to say anything? Nubbix, you want to jump in, or anybody else before we close off? Thank you, Patafi. Thank you.
Yeah, well, real quick, I want to thank mostly the criticizers of the UDU. There's some vocal ones in here. With whom I have a hard time modding in the general chat because I don't want to overstep a boundary or to be like, yeah, I'm a UDU member, so you can talk shit about UDU. I try to avoid that kind of stuff. But I really appreciate, yeah, some guys in here that just show interest and just want to listen to our side of the story as well. So yeah, just basically that, and know that I will never shut anyone up just for voicing discontent with UDU or whatever. But I'm just there to talk, well, in my opinion, facts. But yeah, thanks for being here, all.
Thank you for that, Nubbix. And yeah, I think you're right. People are allowed to have their opinions. If they want to talk crap about UDU, so be it. Maybe they'll get it if we have a conversation with them, and maybe not. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. So thank you for that stance. And yeah, I saw you unmute your mic there, Bakio. Did you want to jump in? Did you have something?
Yeah, I really would like to jump in because I recently joined the UDUA chat, and to talk about like decentralization and about the rumors that the UDU is like some kind of exclusive club. We also talked about the requirements. So when can we be part of the UDUA? And the requirements are quite loose, and I think that's a good thing. I mean, there is not like a list or a bunch of things that you have to pass in order to be part of the UDUA, because that would feed like the rumors that only friends or some exclusive players can join it. So I really like that too. So I think that really also shows that we are trying to help as much as people who actually want that. So I think that's a very important thing to add, that it's not exclusive. I mean, if you would like to join UDUA, like for instance, I did that by telling the group, like, I have 3 node properties. I don't want to sell them and make short-term profit. I want to join it and be part of the community. And then they don't say, okay, but you have to know this one or that one or require A, B, C, D. No, they told you, yo, jump in and grow. And I really like that. So we're open to everyone. That's what I would like to add.
Thank you for that, mate. And
Thank you for.
You know what? Just I'm looking at the screen right here, and I have my screen with Ben, and then I have me and DJ, and it looks like Isimo, he's got the same background as us. I don't know if that's the newest UDU member coming soon, man. We'll see one of these days. We might have got a new one.
You definitely changed some of my opinions,
Awesome.
And the transparency is very, very welcome. So glad to see that there's some honesty here and opportunity for all of us to grow, that it's not just you versus us or us versus you, that we're in this together. We're all after the same thing, which is fairness, good play, and opportunities for long-term gains.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Thanks. And just to wrap up, we have been talking internally about kind of reconfiguring how we go about onboarding new members into UDU directly. And I have to thank Finsky for all the feedback he's been giving me as part of the process. We will reevaluate how that system works. It looks likely now that there will be a case where we're going to start vetting players a bit more thoroughly. And that's just basically more conversations to see, you know, where their head's at. You know, we will, for our own security sake, we'll look through transaction history and that sort of thing. And we're expecting that as part of that onboarding process to UDU, that players will spend some time in the UDU-A. If you're a new player to the game, you will be you'll have the opportunity to be mentored by an experienced player. If you are an experienced player, then we would ask you to help in the mentoring process. That just it's just one extra way that we can see, like, if you're in it for the right reasons. I've had several members telling me that we're a bit too lax in how we've onboarded players. And I think the last couple of weeks have shown that, yeah, some of the feedback that we've got on that process needs to be taken on board, and we need to kind of take a better look at things. Yeah, as we've said all along, we want the right people with the right vision who kind of get what we're all about. And I think taking some time to go through that academy process will really help with that. So that's all I wanted to say with that.
All right, thank you guys.
Again, thank you everybody. And yeah, I'll put this up on YouTube. If you review it and you want to ask some more questions, please reach out. Thanks everybody.
All right, guys, see you.